Hello, everyone. Yes, that is my name. My name is Jacob Knight. Let me start by explaining something. I've taken 5 yoga classes through Running Start at NCC because I love it. One thing I'd like to share with you all real quick is something that we start every class with. So if you feel so inclined, parents and staff as well, sit up tall in your seat, stretch the crown of your head up to the sky, and deeply inhale, filling the stomach. Close your eyes as we inhale and feel your stomach expand. If you think this is stupid, you're probably doing it right. And now, slowly exhale. It's over. One more time. Breathe in deep, trying to expand the lungs. And out. It's over. Except for the parents, you're gonna have to deal with us the rest of your lives. See, don't you feel just a tad bit better than you did before? Yoga has been helping me take care of my physical and mental state, and it's really helped. Up until the summer of 2017, it was difficult for me to respect myself enough to care for my mental health. While I may have struggled with caring for myself, I was raised very strictly to care for others. My family taught me, and still teach me, to be very respectful and courteous to you all. In fact, just this weekend, my aunt wrote in a letter, "Be kind, because that will get you further than any amount of charm or intelligence ever could." I remember on more than one occasion when ordering food for myself at a young age, I would only get as far as, "Can I get," before my mom would cut me off and say, "How do you ask?" So I stop, take a step back, try again. "May I please get a Happy Meal with a cheeseburger," right? And that's just one example of the many things that fell under the umbrella of the golden rule. Treat others the way you wish to be treated. My siblings and I were reminded of this constantly when we were growing up, with the hope of it becoming a part of our character. The cool thing is that it worked. Well, let me clarify. It worked eventually, and not without fault. But for the most part, it worked, and it has gotten us far. But again, what I struggled to learn is how to treat myself with respect. This started impacting my life in middle school. At that age, I noticed kids start to exploit the disadvantages and weaknesses of their peers, whether they intended to or not. This didn't bode well for me. When faced with insults, I thought it would be clever to downplay them by laughing them off, telling myself I was okay, and moving on. When I was being used, I would easily pass it off as being helpful. In 8th grade, I got caught up in a friendship with a person who would tell me almost every day that they hated me or that I was an effing fun, even though this unreciprocated practice was obviously starting to take a toll on my life by the end of the year. Throughout it all, however, I never managed to tell them to stop. Instead, every day I tried to convince myself that it was okay, or that I was okay. In my freshman year, I was able to keep distance from them, but the posts on social media persisted. "I wish you would effing die. You mean nothing to anyone." At this point, I was lucky to have a friend intervene. Raiden Chia may be seen as a Machiavellian evil genius, but he and his family were there for me when I needed them. After going through something like this and coming out in the clear with a fresh start, most people would probably realize that they needed to make some changes, that they would have to respect themselves enough to have the courage that allows them to say stop, or at least to be honest with themselves about how they feel. For me, I still had some learning to do. My sophomore year, I started a relationship with a really great person. She and I had many shared interests, which made for a lot of happy moments together, and I enjoyed it all. The problem was, I was still lying to myself. I still wasn't being honest with the other people around me or myself about how I feel. In this particular case, I was convincing myself that I could love girls, the way boys are raised to. It wasn't until the summer of 2017 that I finally stopped. For the first time, I told someone I am gay. The emptiness I felt afterwards was unbearable. I still remember visualizing holes all over my body on the car ride home because that is what it felt like. For years, I had been filling those holes with lies to make myself feel better. But the truth is, those lies are not you, no matter how long you stick with them. It was painful to feel so exposed and vulnerable. Over the next several months, as I divulged my identity with family and friends, the emptiness inside of me was filled. Instead of being filled with lies, however, I was filled with integrity. I began to feel more confidence, self-worth, and empathy. I learned to accept my feelings and that it was okay to share them with others. Throughout the process of learning to be more genuine with myself and others, my interactions I had with them began to mirror back the newfound respect I had for myself. By no means am I perfect. There are some relatives of mine just hearing about this for the first time right now. Surprise! I can't wait for that awkward hug later. But I wanted to share this with you all, because so often I see people at our school, and this class in particular, belittle themselves. When there is a goal you fail to reach, your first reaction is to judge yourself and the person you are, rather than the actions that you've taken. You look in the mirror and tell yourself you're not worthy. You scroll through social media and judge yourself for not going out and doing what everyone else is doing. And you choose to not participate in a breathing exercise because you're worried about the friends around you judging you. There are many cases in which all of you are telling yourselves you're not good enough. Whether you realize it or not, it is taking a toll on you. I'm standing before a lot of amazing people. People that are happy to hand out compliments to other people they don't even know. But when they reflect on themselves, they are constantly thinking about what they should be, instead of accepting who they are and how they feel. There is a part of the yoga breathing exercise that I didn't share with you before, but had a very big impact on my life the more seriously I took it. When the class was instructed to do our deep breathing, we were also told to take a moment to think about how we were feeling. In the first few classes, all that could come to my mind was, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, or I'm a little bit tired today. But as the classes continued, I realized there was so much more that I was ignoring. So I challenge you all to explore that within yourselves, and to honor those feelings and accept them, but most importantly, to accept yourself. I'd like to finish with a quote, because what is a senior speech without a quote or two? As a friend once told me, live for you, not what you think you have to be. Thank you.